most of the time when we come back from a work trip, I'm not training because it's pretty late at night, something like, let's say, 9 p.m. and you have worked all day. You have driven for, let's say, 400 kilometers or something like that to come back home. You're sleepy, you want to eat something, and it was pretty simple at one point because all I needed to do is we were working all day, we come back. So at one point it was very simple. Go to bed, sleep, get up, eat, go train, study, uh, do things at home if it's needed, clean up or something like this, play some games on the computer for a couple of hours. After 1-2 days, we need to go again on a work trip. The weekend has ended. It was easy because I was sort of repeating everything. The problem got when I hardly had any time to study for my exams. We needed to get up, let's say at 5-6 a.m. You get ready at 7 a.m. You go to the work where you need to. At 7 a.m. you go where is the object where we were working. We'll come back something like 6, 7, 8 p.m. It depends. You take shower, you let's say make a couple of phone calls, go to a restaurant, eat a bunch of stuff. I wasn't looking if I'm eating healthy or not because throughout that day the only thing I had was 1 or 2 yogurts, and at that point I didn't eat stuff like that. I was eating, let's say, something like some kind of sweet at the morning, probably at first, before I started eating yogurts. I'm going to speak about that later. Throughout the day, I have drink only 1.5 liters of water, which is almost nothing, but around the boiler, it's pretty hot, and a couple of times in the day, maybe sometimes 10, maybe sometimes more, I need to go around from one part of the thermal electrical plant to the other part, and from one part to the other part is almost 3 kilometers. So let's say this is something like 10-15 minutes fast walking, so you can go to one place to the other. You can say this is perfect cardio, but for the stuff I was eating, really unhealthy. I'm not going to say like it was French fries or anything like that, but you go to a restaurant, you order a bunch of stuff. My dinner was a minimum of 300 calories, which is a lot for one meal only. But I haven't eaten anything else since the morning, and I needed to get something in. I go back to the hotel somewhere about 9 p.m. Try to study a little bit. At 10 I'm going to bed because I'm already starting to fall asleep even when I'm reading because I'm tired. And that was for the next sort of 2 years. I'm going to tell exactly sort of some parts of that period of time, but this what I was sort of doing, let's say for the 365 days of the year, at least 200 days probably I am on a work trip, and that wasn't really healthy for me, I can say. That's why I did not make some kind of huge progress because I was so tired, didn't have time to work out, let's say do some kind of crunches, push-ups or something like this, or walk around the city where we're in to see if there's some kind of pull-up bar to do some pull-ups, dips or something like this. I was just tired. This not only to say as an excuse, but when you're working 12 hours a day at a place that it's something like 14, 15 degrees Celsius, you won't and haven't eaten anything for the whole day. You have drank somewhere at the maximum of 2 liters of water a day. Uh, you're pretty exhausted. Sometimes we will need to work at night, and if we are working at night, that means I won't sleep, and when we go back in the morning in the hotel, I will try to sleep, go to sleep after, let's say, hour and something, trying to fall asleep. After that, I'm going to sleep for maximum of 1 hour. I get up. I cannot sleep through the day. Now, even then, before when I was tired, I just couldn't sleep. And if you're doing this for 5 days, like for 5 days, getting maximum of 5-6 hours of sleep, you will be pretty exhausted. And eating unhealthy for more than 12 hours a day, not eating anything and hardly drinking water. This is my excuse for losing some gains, because yeah, I'm training at the weekends, but that doesn't mean anything. And sometimes when we don't have work trips, I always train, but it's really shitty. Uh, as for my I'm not sure if that's correct, but my holidays are 20 days that I can use, and I don't ever spend them because only at the end of the year, December, that's the part of the year when we sort of don't have so much things to do, and the full December I'm not working because I'm using all these days, and for the 2 weeks, 2 times a year that I need to go to the university, I have another kind of rest days that I can use, and that wasn't a problem for me. Um, all my exams were at the Saturdays, as I said. Uh, it's not a problem because it's the weekend, and if I'm not on a work trip, or if I'm on a work trip Friday, I'm going to come back home. So earlier, let's say at 3 4 a.m., we'll go to the other city, drive 330 kilometers until we get there, do the exam, go back home. And for these 2 years, life was also getting simple because you were repeating most of the stuff. For that period of time, I can say I was sleeping pretty much really easy because I was tired. I will get up at night because with my dinner I'm going to drink something like more than 2 liters. And while I'm sleeping, I wake up, go to the toilet, go back, fall asleep. 5 6 a.m. the alarm goes on, wakes me up, and for almost the last 15 years of my life, I have always getting up at 6 a.m. Even now, when it's a weekend, I'm doing it. But back then, I needed to do it, but I was still sleeping. And right now, I'm awaking before that because if you're doing something like this for so many years, you just get used to it. And for the 10 times I need to walk around the thermal plant, I need to carry stuff that's sometimes pretty heavy, and I can say I'm doing some kind of cardio back at that point. And right now I don't sleep that much. I'm not so sure why. At this current moment, I'm sleeping a little bit more, probably because I'm not so stressed right now, like I was, let's say, last year. And because sometimes it's not so hot outside. I don't have an air conditioner in my room to use, so I can feel more comfortable. But this is another thing, and I didn't expect to make some kind of huge gains for 2 days a week training most of the time. So uh, I did train, but it was just sort of to keep myself in some kind of shape, no matter that I was sort of heavy at that moment. When I graduated, I was 86 kilograms. This is the highest I have ever been. So after these years, things started getting a bit easier, and I started working out exactly on the 1st of October 2014, and I have worked in the same company for the past 4 years, something like this. Actually, 3 years and something. This is what happened through that period of time until 2017. After that, we weren't going on so much work trips. I had enough time to spend in the office, uh, where I will say honestly, I didn't have much work to do. From time to time, I will probably help with some drawing or calculating something for someone in the office. Nothing more special than that, or go buy this, go try to fix this on the car or something like this. Simple stuff. I've had days when I stay 8 hours and just like that do nothing all day, which is sort of annoying because 8 hours doing nothing is uh, passing by really slow. So somewhere about that time, in the beginning of 2017 or just in 2017, I suppose my first BFF, he was starting to go to the gym, and he was asking me if I can go with him to help him because he has never been to by that time going to any kind of gym. And I was okay because I knew some stuff, and I done some stuff pretty wrong and didn't want for him to be as well to learn by himself or watch so many videos on how to do this. Before that, I said how I started to train, what I was doing through these years, how my working outs weren't going so well, or I couldn't spend so much money on working to a gym because there was one gym close to me, but it was the cheapest one. It was $10, but $10 were pretty much a lot of money for me, and I couldn't afford to spend that because I prefer to save money so I can buy something more useful, and I always could have trained at home. That's how I started. Then I started going to the gym. After my mother passed, I was going to street workouts. After that, I started training at home with the dumbbells. Then I got a bar, and it was just easy for me. But as I started going to the gym, I actually started going more often with him. Most of the workouts I will do at home. For some, let's say 2-3 workouts, I will go with him to work out with at the gym. But we didn't have to pay for that gym anything because his mother had from her job a card that he could use. I got one from one of her colleagues as well, so we didn't have to pay anything to go to that gym. The gym wasn't anything special. The music was always shitty. I don't remember one time when the music was okay. And by that time, before we started going to the gym with him, I always trained no matter that I was training only, let's say, at the weekends when I was having work trips. But I don't remember any time me stopping to work out except for the 3 months when my mother passed. Um, I never said I will stop. I always like training and fitness related stuff and just sports. But from that moment, I can say I got more into this, started doing more research, started watching more YouTube video stuff, collaborations on different people. And when 2017 came, I said I would try to make my life better, make some changes like I'm doing it right now. And what I was actually doing at that moment was I was trying to get better, looking get a little bit bigger lifts in the gym that I just started going again to. Uh, I think somewhere about half of 2017 I actually started doing some kind of deadlifts and legs. Before that, I have never tried doing deadlift. Legs, as I said, I wasn't doing much, and most of the time, if I was doing legs, I will do leg press, not squats. So basically, the squats and the deadlift, I started somewhere about that time. Maybe it was actually when I think right now, at 2017, at the end of 2016 we started going with him to the gym, and uh, that's when we actually started doing legs and adding deadlift as well with my first BFF. But something like a year and a half after going to that gym, the cards ended from uh, his mom's job, so we needed to pay for that gym, and we weren't so okay paying for that gym because we needed to spend something like $14-15, and that's a bunch of money just to go to some kind of gym. We didn't quite, it was okay as a gym, but it wasn't anything special. We didn't want to spend so much money. I was saving money so I can buy a new car and some other stuff. Um, and he, at that time, what he was doing is he went to the university, the technological university in our capital. He didn't like it after the first year. He stopped. Then for 1 year he was getting ready for some kind of exam so he can get in uh, the university in which he is right now, and he has one more year left before graduation. He's not studying in absence, but he basically sort of lost 2 years because of that, but that's on him. He wasn't working, so he didn't have sort of so much money to spend just on a gym, $15 a euro per month. Maybe for some people it's normal, but for the people in my country, that's a lot of money to go to one gym. Based on the one we're going now, it's $20, and that's huge difference. Yeah, at first we continue going from time to time, but at that moment, my first BFF actually started started to do street workout. He couldn't do one clean pull-up, excuse me. His push-ups were, let's say, his body was a little bit below. I helped him with that. I think I have one or a couple of recordings of me trying to get to make muscle up again, because as I got the pull-up bar in my home, and for the weight I was back then, and for the weight I was doing calisthenic stuff when I was 16, 17. Uh, I was 75 kilograms at that moment, and when we started going to the gym, started working out with him, I started helping him with calisthenics. I was still above 80 kilograms, and I was pretty heavy, and I didn't do anything else than rather than pull-ups, excuse me, at home. So it was a bit hard for me to get back to do some of the stuff. You will see me trying to do a front lever with one leg. I will show you one video um, sometime, not right now, but at that moment we were starting going to do street workout, but we were searching for another gym, and we will mix, let's say, half of the workouts are 2 times of a week. For me, I will go and do street workouts, and for him it was like 2 times a week he will work out at the gym, something like this. We found the gym we are going currently right now. The music was okay. After that, the music started becoming pretty shitty, and that's when I got my headphones. I would show them, but they're in the back, and I'm lazy right now. Uh, right now, the music is starting to get a little bit better. By that time, the gym wasn't so crowded like it's right now, but around my area and for all the gyms in my city, this is one of the biggest gyms. The gym I'm going in is Titanium Fitness. For the people who are from my country, they already opened for other fitnesses. I would say the gym is pretty cool, but they got rid of some equipment that I personally really liked. It would be nice if they add one more bench and one more squat rack. Right now they have two, but I don't think that's enough. For the people who, let's say, maybe from America, say, what do you mean by small gym? Well, probably in your country, small gym is a big gym in my country. That's what I can say for sure. Everything was sort of starting to get better at that point. I want to add this right now before I forget about it or skip it. For this period of time, my second BFF for the 2 years got a serious girlfriend at that moment. That they were together for 1 year, and what happened when through the time I was starting to work, didn't have so much time to let's say have a meet with him somewhere in the city, to make coffee or just to, let's say, go watch a movie with friends or something like this. But and through all this time, since the graduation, he has tried helping me, and after that, when he got a serious girlfriend, they were sort of trying to let's say hook me up with one of or a couple of her friends. I always had, let's say, a feeling to fall out for the wrong girl who will say it's complicated now, or I will somehow mess everything up, or I'm not their type of person, or they're not my type. Based on these things, I just want to add this right now. I probably have already said this in the first video, but I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't like to go to the clubs because in most of the clubs the music is something I don't like to listen to, and for me sometimes think I will, let's say, if something was working out between me and some girl, they weren't okay because I had work trips, and uh, seeing someone only 2 days in a week, it's not okay, and I am not okay with it. They are 100% right to say that, and this is pretty correct. But I didn't quite have much of a choice. Didn't want to switch my job. I was sort of happy with the money I was making. Yes, I was working pretty hard, but that's another thing.